Hello, Mrs. and friend. Today I'm gonna tell you about the film named The Green Mile. This film tells the story of Paul Edgecombe's life as a death row prison warden and the supernatural things that he saw while he was working. First, in this film there are many characters, so I will explain some of characters that impressed me. I'll start with Paul Edgecombe. As I said earlier, Paul is the chief warden, and in this film, the old Paul is telling his friend his past as the chief warden. Paul is a good person and respect everyone, like his CO workers, and even respects some prisoners who are kind. Paul is also a patient man. In one scene, he is urinated by one of the crazy prisoners, but he remains patient and professional. But he has problem, namely urinary tract disease, which causes him to feel pain every time he pees. But one day, he met with one of the prisoners named John Coffey, and then John Coffey healed Paul by his healing power. And then there is John Coffey. He's one of the states, and in this film, John goes to jail because he's accused of killing two girls, and in the film there is a scene that explains who actually the killer. John is described as having a large and scary body, but behind it he's very kind. John is a special person, he has grace, and John is the one who healed Paul's sickness, revived Dale's rat, and healing the wife of head guard Hal Morse. But unfortunately, he had to accept punishment even though he was not the one who committed the crime because yeah, he has the dark skin that making other people treat him differently at the time. Then there is a Percy Wetmore. He is the main antagonist character in this film. He's very racist. He treats his inmates like they are not human beings, and he feels a sense of superiority because he has connection with the government and that his CO worker with how he wants to. He also purposely tampered with the execution which could be very irresponsible, and because of his attitude, he was disliked by other guards, and he also had hatred for a prisoner named Dale because he killed Dale's pet, and during Dale's execution, he didn't wet his sponge, and so Dale died in tragic way. And how do I feel about the fate of the main characters in the story? I think this film is very sad because in the part when John Coffey has to accept punishment for action he didn't even do, even though one of the police, Paul, knew of the truth that he didn't kill the girls. But Paul still couldn't do anything because he has no evidence that the murderer was really the kid. John was the one guilty as he held at the two girls' dead body, and Paul offered John to be released even though his job was at stake. But John refused because he was tired of this cruel world, and I think the punishment given to John is very unfair, especially not him who did it. He get the punishment because yeah, he get some racist action from people at the time. How do I feel about the death penalty or sentence? How Indonesian law? Death penalty used to be quite a thing back in the days, but since most people are currently supporting human rights, it was erased from punishment. True though in some countries it's still legal, and my opinion, the death penalty is the cruelest punishment, even if it uses the most human method because everyone has the right to life, and I think it's not unfair. It's not unfair, yeah. And I think Indonesia's law is quite unfair as it's quite one-sided thing, and I think mostly it's because of the judge and the mostly side with those people who has the power and has the money. So people here shout tolerance, but I think tolerance in Indonesia is fading right now. And the last, how do I think justice equals to law? In my opinion, justice and law will not be the same. Even though there are laws written to implement justice, they will still not be the same because fairness is subjective and the laws has an objective nature. Besides that, everyone is equal in the eyes of the law, even though it sounds fair, but in reality, everyone has their own portion. It doesn't mean giving the same thing to everyone is fair because everyone has their own needs, so it won't be fair in my opinion. And that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.